There's this school bully at my school, and we're going into the senior year, and I can't think of a better way to try to get some sort of revenge, some pettiness involved, because this guy has been making my life absolutely miserable since the second I can remember, and guys, some of the things he's done will make you cringe. Let me tell you all about it.
High school is supposed to be the best years of your life, or so they say. That's probably a load of bull, but for the most part, I've been lucky. My life at Eastwick High had been pretty chill. No crazy dramas, no insane love triangles, no getting involved in bizarre scenarios like in the movies. I mean, I had my crew. Ryan, the skateboarder, who always had my back. Maddie, my childhood friend, is our creative one. And always making something beautiful, she's kinda the mom of the group. Then there's Zoe, who's the definition of drama, but in the best way possible. She's the life of the party. Life with them by my side made things bearable. Senior year started like any other. Classes, assignments, jokes in the hallways, anticipation for the upcoming graduation. But there's always that one thing, or in my case, that one person that just screws it all up. His name, Derek. Now, don't get me wrong. No, I never had a problem with anybody. Heck, I even get along with the weird kid who hissed at people in 9th grade. But there was something about Derek that rubbed me the wrong way. I first noticed it when we were grouped together in Mr. Jensen's physics class. I mean, who gets all riled up over a lab experiment? Derek was this tall, lanky dude with an undercut that looked like he did it himself. You'd think with his height and physique he'd be a part of the school's basketball team, but no. Derek's sport of choice? Debate. Yeah, that's right, he would verbally shred you to pieces if you ever dare challenge his view on, well, anything. It wasn't just his aggressive stance in debates that bothered me, it was his general demeanor. Derek never smiled, like never, and if he did, it always felt like he was smirking at some private joke none of us were in on. The way that he carried himself, always shoulders back, head high, glaring down his nose at you, it was off-putting. Ryan, Maddie, Zoe, and I were at our usual lunch spot one day. The one under the tree near the back exit of the school. We had claimed it since freshman year, and I was in the middle of recounting a funny story about my dog when Derek and his gang decided to take the spot next to ours. Fine by me, until he started to get loud. I swear most of these losers don't even belong in AP Physics. Like, if you can't handle it, drop out. No need to drag the rest of us down. Derek declared with his voice dripping with disdain. I felt my ears burn. Was he indirectly referring to me? Last week I asked a question in class and he sighed loudly. It was an innocent question, but it had apparently made me the target. Zoe, never one to hold her tongue, shot back. Maybe if some people weren't so busy being condescending, others might feel comfortable in class. I expected a debate club-worthy comeback, but Derek just stared at Zoe, his blue eyes icy and cold. It sent a shiver down my spine. Not everyone's cut out for the real world, Zoe. Maybe stick to your little plays and dramas, that's all you're good for anyways. Maddie's hand tightened on her fork, and I could see Ryan's jaw clench. I tried to keep my cool, but the unease was building, and Zoe, even our fury defender, looked like she was about to explode. But Derek's group started to laugh, egging him on, and he seemed satisfied with his little show. I wanted to say something, anything to put him in his place, but I held back. Picking a fight with Derek felt like playing with fire, and I wasn't ready. Yet besides Zoe seemed to have it handled, and weeks passed. Every interaction with Derek was a battle of wills. He'd interrupt me during our group projects, smirk when I'd answer a question wrong, and I swear he would purposely stare at me in the halls the more times than I could count. The tension was in the air. Ryan and Maddie told me to shrug it off, that he wasn't worth the stress, but every slight, every sarcastic comment was adding up. It all culminated one evening when Derek decided to publicly mock a sketch Maddie had done. She'd spent hours on it and was quite proud, but Derek took it upon himself to offer his, quote, constructive criticism. The hurt look on Maddie's face was the last straw. I felt a rage I've never felt before, but I wasn't going to blow up. No. If Derek wanted to play games, I'd play, but on my terms, and I plotted on my next move and realized that senior year was about to get a lot more interesting. You ever have those days when you just can't shake off a bad mood? Well, that was me every day since the Maddie incident. Every morning I'd find some sort of motivation like, okay, today's the day. Derek's not gonna get to me. But by lunch, there I was, getting my teeth gritting, wishing I could just graduate and leave him in the dust. But, well, now my home was my safe place, my escape from the madness that was East Wick High. The one place Derek could not touch, that was until my little sister Lily started her freshman year. Lily's the polar opposite of me. Where I'm more laid back and chill, she's vibrant and outspoken. She's 14, and she's with these big hazel eyes that seem to take in the world with wonder. Her curly brown hair is always tied up in some kind of artsy braid, and being the art geek that she is, Maddie and Lily got along like spaghetti and meatballs. They'd often huddle in Maddie's room, sketching paintings, creating magic. So one day, after another frustrating encounter with Derek, I reached home, hoping to unwind and maybe vent a bit to Lily. But as I stepped in, I noticed her sitting on the living room couch, a sketchbook on her lap, her face streaked with tears, and I say, "What happened?" She sniffled, wiped away her tears, and with the back of her hand, she says, "It's nothing." But I said, "Come on, Lil, talk to me." She hesitated for a moment before taking a breath and said some seniors were making fun of the freshmen's artwork displayed in the main hall. They laughed at mine, said it was childish, and looked like a toddler's scribble. My blood was boiling, and I had a gut feeling. "Did you see who it was?" She shook her head and said, "I didn't see them, but Jenna told me it was mainly Derek." Of course it was. Now he was coming for my sister. Yeah, indirectly maybe, but still. My initial urge was to march back to school and confront him, but the rational side of me knew that would solve nothing. Derek thrived on reactions, and he probably loved seeing me lose my cool. Ryan and Zoe came over later that evening, and I recounted the day's events, my frustration evident, and, quote, "It's like he's everywhere, just waiting to pounce, and now he's messing with Lily?" Zoe's face darkened, and, quote, "That guy needs to be put in his place." Maddie, ever the voice of reason, piped in, "Look, I know Derek's a pain, but let's not do something we'll regret. Lily's strong, she'll bounce back, plus it might not have been him." "But what if it was?" Ryan said, mirroring my thoughts. "We can't just let him walk all over us." The room was thick with tension, and we all knew something needed to be done, but what and how? Late into the night, as I lay in bed, I could not shake off the feeling of helplessness. Lily had always looked up to me. To her, I was her protector, the one who chased away the monsters under the bed, and here I was, unable to shield her with that very real monster of Derek. The next morning, as I walked her to school, I could sense the hesitation in her steps. She tried to put on a brave face, but her eyes just gave her away. I squeezed her hand reassuringly and said, "Hey, don't let anybody dim your shine, okay? You're incredibly talented, and some idiot's opinion should not matter." She gave me a weak smile and said, "I know, it's just hard, you know. I thought high school would be different." I say, "It is most of the time, but sometimes you come across people who can't stand to see others happy or succeeding. Just keep your head high, Lil." She hugged me tight, whispering, "Thanks, big bro." As we parted ways, I felt a renewed determination. Derek had crossed a line, and I wasn't about to let it slide. I might not have had a concrete plan yet, but one thing was for sure. Derek's day of reigning terror was outnumbered. Update number 1. 3 weeks have passed since Derek had indirectly taken a jab at Lily, and man, things have not improved a bit. I tried to adapt the ignore and he'll get bored strategy, and it was not working. I remember walking into the cafeteria one day, and Ryan was already there, looking visibly angry. His skateboard, which was practically his third arm, had been spray-painted with the word loser in big black mocking letters. The worst part, Ryan had been recently struggling with some personal stuff, and skateboarding was his therapy. I didn't even need to ask who was behind it. That smirk on Derek's face gave it away across the room. "Man, it's just the board," Ryan muttered, trying to brush it off, but I could see the hurt in his eyes. Maddie whispered that Zoe had a run-in with Derek in drama. He loudly critiqued her performance, going way beyond constructive criticism. According to Maddie, Zoe had to take 5 in the restroom to keep from crying in front of everybody. It's becoming clear that avoiding Derek wasn't helping. He was hell-bent on making our lives miserable. During one particularly frustrating afternoon, as we were lounging in the basement, the conversation took an unexpected turn. You guys heard about Hector's party in 2 weeks? Hector, as in Hector Martinez? Yeah. Apparently it's going to be a big blowout party of the year, a sort of pre-graduation brash. Well, we're not really on Hector's invite list, are we? I overheard some cheerleaders talking about it. They say everyone's going to be there. Hector's parties are always open invites. Well, my brother went a couple years ago. Should we try to go? Definitely. It'll be a chance to let loose. But we aren't exactly invited, are we? Well, we could always just ask. Hector's a senior, but he's a pretty chill guy. Maybe he'll just let us in. That settled it. The group decided we'd at least try to get an invite, and Hector was a big name at Eastwick High. Captain of the varsity football team, grade A student, and surprisingly down-to-earth for somebody oh so popular. While we weren't exactly close, I shared a couple of classes with him, and we partnered on a few projects in the past, and I just hoped the connection might be enough to get us into the party. But amidst all this party talk, the Derek issue still loomed large. Ryan's defaced skateboard leaned against the wall with a reminder that things were not okay. Maddie broke the silence and she said, if we go to Hector's party, Derek will probably be there. Ugh, can't he just disappear for a night? Look, whether Derek's there or not, we can't let him dictate our lives. We deserve a night off to enjoy ourselves. Who knows, maybe the party atmosphere will keep him occupied. Or it'll give him more ammunition to make fun of us. Well, I guess we won't know until we try, will we, Maddie? Let's just stick together. He won't mess with us if we stand up as a group. We nodded in agreement, forming a pact, and if we were going to the party, we'd have each other's backs, and Derek be damned. The following week was a blur of classes, homework, the occasional Derek-induced incident, and the buzz about Hector's party kept our spirits up. Everybody we went, and it seemed to be the topic of the conversation as the days passed. My determination to attend grew. The day before the party, I finally mustered the courage to approach Hector. I remember the nerves, the anxious anticipations as I walked up to his locker. Hey, Hector. Hey, what's up? So I heard about your party tomorrow. Yeah, man, what about it? My friends and I were thinking of coming. Would that be cool? Oh, yeah, man, of course. It's going to be wild. I'd love to have you guys there. The more the merrier, bro. Oh, that was a weight lifted off my shoulders, I said. Awesome. Thanks, Hector. Should we bring anything? Well, I don't know. If you guys are planning on, drinking or anything, bring your own stuff. There's going to be a lot of seniors, and I reckon the drinks will run out. Oh, got it. Okay, thanks, Hector. Thanks again. I appreciate it. He slapped me on the back, chuckling. No worries, man. Look forward to seeing you guys there. As I walked by, a sudden surge of excitement rushed through me, not just about the party, but because for once things are seeming to be looking up. Well, when I met up with the gang after school, the atmosphere was electric. I shared the news, and the collective cheers echoed throughout our usual hangout spot. We were officially invited to the party of the year. We've got to plan our outfits, Maddie said. Ryan laughed and said, I didn't think it would be such a big deal, but yeah, I guess we got to look good. As the evenings wore on, amidst the excited chatter of the party attire and potential shenanigans, here comes that Derek issue again, re-emerging. You guys ever thought about talking to the school counselor about Derek? You mean report him? I mean, it's worth a shot, right? If we go as a group and explain everything, they might take it seriously. I don't know. What if he finds out and things get worse? The thought of making our situation even more unbearable was daunting, and maybe Maddie's onto something. If the school intervenes, Derek might actually back off. We debated the pros and cons for what felt like hours, and the idea of involving adults and potentially escalating the situation left us divided. In the end, the fear of retaliation of putting a target on our backs won out, and we decided against the counselor deep down, but we just hoped that graduating soon would be our escape. The next few days flew by in a blur of party preparations, and every single day after school the group would huddle at somebody's house. Ryan was on drink duty. He had an older brother who was able to get us some, ensuring that we had our stash ready. And, well, the day before the party, the excitement was growing, and we were already ready. I remember staring at my reflection, feeling a mix of anticipation and nerves. Update number 2. Saturday evening arrived faster than I thought it would, and as the sun set, my friends and I were buzzing with excitement. I threw on the outfit, and Zoe and Maddie had helped pick out a simple black tee, jeans, sneakers, nothing too flashy. Just the perfect vibe. The group met up at my place before heading to Hector's, and our energy was infectious. Laughters and jokes were thrown around, and Ryan even gave a goofy fashion walk, showcasing his outfit, making us all burst into laughter. We reached Hector's house, and it was already in full swing. The bass thudded from the inside, and the front yard was swimming with people. Wow, it was amazing. Upon entering the party, the atmosphere was electrifying. People dancing, laughing, playing games, and the rooms were bathed in colorful, pulsating lights. Maddie and Zoe quickly found themselves engrossed in conversation and chit-chat with a group of drama club members. Ryan and I headed to the pong table. Right after the round, Ryan and I dominated the table. It was exhilarating, the thrill of the game, the cheer of the crowd. It was just good being in this moment with my friends. Then, like a storm rolling in, Derek entered the room. His presence was immediately felt, and conversations dimmed, laughter dwindled, and the fun light atmosphere felt tainted. We tried to push on, ignore him, keep the energy up, but it was clear. Derek's mere presence had a dampening effect. We continued to get our game of Pong going, but Derek, in his typical fashion, decided to insert himself into the mix. He teamed up with one of his buddies, and soon enough it was Ryan and me versus Derek and his sidekick. To be fair, Derek was good, annoyingly good. Each successful shot was followed by a loud cheer from his group and a smirk in our direction. But the turning point came when Derek deliberately threw a ball, not at the cups but directly at Ryan, smacking him in the face. The room fell silent. Ryan's face reddened and fists clenched, his whole body tensed up. "What the hell, Derek?" Oh, my bad. I guess I just missed." Before Ryan could lunge at him, I quickly grabbed his arm, pulling him away, and said, "Come on, let's get some air." As we exited, the chatter resumed inside, but the tension lingered. We found a quiet spot on the back porch. "Why does he always have to ruin everything? Just one night, man. One night without his crap." "I know, dude, I know, but reacting is what he wants. Let's not get him the satisfaction." Ryan kicked at the ground with frustration evident on his face. "Every time he does something, it just brings back all the bad memories, all the taunts, the pranks, the endless bullying. I'm done with it, dude." "Believe me, I get it. But we can't let him have power over us, over our emotions." Ryan leaned against the tree, taking a deep breath to calm himself, and he said, "You ever think about getting back at him? Making him feel what we feel?" The thought that crossed my mind more times than I'd like to admit. Derek had tormented us for long. It felt only fair, quote, "I have," I confessed. But what would we achieve if we would just stoop to his level? Ryan looked at me and said maybe it's time he got a taste of his own. I paused, thinking about the implications of what Ryan was suggesting. The night was supposed to be about fun, about letting go, but Derek had yet again managed to leave his mark. The two of us sat there under the tree, lost in thought, and the music was inside, seeming distant, almost like a backdrop to our intense conversation. I spoke up and said, "We'll figure it out. But for now, let's not let Derek ruin our night." Ryan nodded, his anger subsiding, but the fire of determination was burning. We rejoined the party, but the events of the evening had set the wheels in motion, and Derek has crossed the line, and it's time for the action, and it's going to approach very soon. As we made our way back inside, I noticed Derek at the center of a little circle. Trying to dance, showing off. "Look at him," Ryan whispered. "Such a clown." I couldn't help but agree, but the night was young and we had friends to get back to. Maddie and Zoe were chit-chatting in the corner. We went to them and told them exactly what we were thinking to do with Derek. And Zoe and Maddie joined in and said, "Are you serious? Why can't you just leave us alone? Stay away from him for the rest of the night. Hopefully he'll get bored and find someone else to torment." Well, that's what we did. As the hours rolled on, we danced and laughed, and for the most part had a fantastic time. But Ryan nudged me with a mischievous glint in his eyes, and he said, "You see what I'm seeing?" I nodded there. Vulnerable and helpless was our tormentor. It was an opportunity too good to pass up. We should give him a taste of his own medicine as he fell asleep right in front of us. The idea took root instantly. Not something harmful, just embarrassing, right? I'm thinking, I don't know, maybe a little makeover. We approached a few guys we bonded with earlier at the table of Pong, explained our plan, and that we were more than happy to help, especially since many of them had their own grievances with Derek. We ran to the kitchen, scavenged whatever they could find: mustard, ketchup, vinegar, flour, even some leftover soda. Maddie saw us gathering our materials and approached us and said, "What are you guys doing?" Just giving Derek a little surprise." His eyes darted to the passed-out Derek and back to our group, realizing what we were about to do, and she looked torn and said, "Guys, I'm not sure about this." Before she could say more, Ryan interjected, "He's had it coming for a long time. Tonight's just payback." We all gathered around Derek, condiment in hand, looking at each other for confirmation. Then all at once we began pouring our liquids all over him. Mustard streaked his face, flour covered his clothing, vinegar dripped throughout his hair. The scene was a complete mess, and yet Derek did not even move. We bolted with laughter, right back to Maddie's car piling in, and we drove off, the night's events replaying in our mind. I grinned and I said he deserved all of it. He won't even remember who did it. Update number 3. The Monday after the party, the school was buzzing with whispers and laughter. Everybody was talking about the Derek incident. People even got videos and photos circulating on social media. He was made into the school meme. And people who weren't even at the party now knew what happened. While I tried to keep a low profile, it was evident that the word had gotten out about who the masterminds behind the prank were. Derek was so mad. Every time I saw him, he shot daggers with his eyes, and his face also flushed with barely suppressed rage. He never confronted me directly, but the tension was there. You could cut it with a knife. I know that he probably wanted to exact this revenge, but without graduation, with looming, maybe he thought it best not to stir up trouble. Ryan, however, was loving every minute. He said, "Dude, we're legends now, bro." While it felt good to finally get back at Derek, I wasn't as thrilled as Ryan about the attention. It was a bit much, but hey, at least Derek wasn't bugging us anymore. He mostly kept to himself. Zoe, on the other hand, approached the whole situation with a sort of ironic amusement. "You guys are such idiots." But I mean, he did deserve it. Maddie was still the voice of caution, as always. "I still think you guys went too far." "Maybe, but it sure felt good, Maddie." Well, guys, that's basically the story of my high school days with Derek, the bully. Let me know if you think we went too far down in the comment section. Yeah, it might sound innocent, like it was just a bit of food spread on his face. It was really the pictures that circulated after that for the rest of the year. Every time something funny would happen or he would try to bully somebody would just flash him a screen of his picture. Of that night we covered him in mustard, vinegar, ketchup, and so much more. Am I the a-hole for doing what we did to Derek that night? Did he not deserve it?
Alright guys, so we just had a second to review some of the comments, and a lot of the people were saying that OP and OP's posse went a bit too far with Derek. They should have took the higher road and just ignored the bully, the onslaught. I mean, OP said it, OP's self over and over. that they're about to graduate and that'll be the end of it. So let me just know your thoughts, your comments. If you've ever been in a similar situation, maybe your kids have been in a bully situation like today's story, a neighbor, somebody you know, drop your thoughts down below. Guys, my name's Mr. Reddito, and I hope you enjoyed today's revenge story. This channel is Mr. Reddito's Revenge. Make sure that you're subscribed to it. I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you tomorrow. But even though this is a revenge channel, just remember, it's cool to be kind. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.